PPC is either going to make or break your bottom line, so you want to be sure that you are not making these 5 mistakes. Welcome to AMZ Unlocked. I am Kimberly Locke, and this is the place where we will inspire, empower, and educate you on all things Amazon. And today we are tackling 5 huge mistakes that people make with their PPC campaigns. And if you pay attention, hopefully we can save you some money and you can make your bottom line instead of breaking it. All right, let's get into it. So the first big mistake is not really knowing your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you are not going to be able to control your numbers. To find out what your target ACoS is, you need to know what your profit margin is. And this is your net profit margin. You need to make sure that you are including all of the costs in your landed COGS, and you're also needing to make sure that you allow for returns. You don't want to blow your margin out. If you're in a niche that has a high number of returns, something like clothing, you're going to want to allow for a lot higher percentage of returns that are going to come back, and that's going to impact your net profit margin. So you need to take all of that into consideration when you're doing your cost of goods calculations. Once you have all of your numbers together, and then you know what you're going to sell it for, then you can come up with your net profit margin, and that is equal to your break-even ACoS. The second big mistake that I see people making is solely relying on Amazon as their only advertising medium. Amazon advertising is not the only way to drive traffic to your listings. By combining your Amazon PPC campaigns with other marketing efforts, Facebook ads, Google AdWords, ads on TikTok, Instagram, whatever your social media platform of choice is or choices are, combining that all together will create a massive traffic to your listings and increase your sales. The next mistake I see people making, and this is a big one. Only using automatic campaigns when they launch a product. Don't do this. Do not do this. Please don't do this. When you first launch a product, you have to remember that the Amazon algorithm does not know what your product is. You have to teach it. And if you let Amazon go wild with an auto campaign, not knowing what your product actually is, it is going to serve up things that it thinks might be relevant. And then if someone perhaps converts or doesn't convert, it's going to negatively impact your ranking. It is vitally important that you have to teach Amazon at the beginning what your product is. And the way to do this is with exact match campaigns. You tell Amazon what your product is. Don't leave it up to the algorithm. Another mistake people make is having just a singular advertising budget that is supposed to cover all of your advertising goals. You may have different advertising goals at different times in the life of your brand. So you need to make sure that you're allowing an adequate advertising budget for each of these goals at that time. The ROI, or return on investment, is also going to be a different target for each of these different types of ad campaigns for the different marketing objectives you're trying to reach. If your goal is to have sales and drive your sales up, then you're going to use sponsored product ads, and your ROI is going to be much better. It's going to be a higher return on investment because these ads are meant to trigger sales. If your focus on your advertising is to increase your brand awareness, then you're going to be using a completely different ad campaign structure. You're going to be using sponsored brand ads, and your ROI on these is going to be lower because these are not necessarily meant to drive sales. These are meant to increase brand awareness. That doesn't mean sales won't happen, but if you set the same expectations of this ad campaign as a sponsored product campaign, you're going to be disappointed with the results. If the focus of your marketing efforts is to disrupt the competition, then you're going to be using, again, a different ad structure, and it's going to have a different expected return on investment. You'll be using sponsored display, where you can show up on competitors' listings and disrupt their sales cycle by putting yourself in front of their customers. This will have a little bit better return on investment typically than the sponsored brand ads, because it can often lead to sales if your offer and your product is a better fit for the customer than the product that they're actually shopping on when they see your ad. But again, it's going to be a lower return on investment than the sponsored product ads. It's very important to make sure you're setting all of these different expectations for these different types of ad campaigns throughout the life of your business. That way you will be able to gauge accurately the success of these different campaigns and if they're meeting your goals. I saved the best for last. This is the biggest game-changing advice I ever got, and once I corrected it from my own PPC marketing, it absolutely changed the game. Do not put more than 5 to 6 keywords in any single campaign. Mind blown, right? The reason is you control the budget at the campaign level. If you have 100 keywords in a campaign that has a $50 to $100 budget, even though that's a healthy, really large budget, particularly for one campaign, do you really think that every single one of those keywords is going to get a chance to be used in an ad? Probably not. So you could have some gold keywords sitting in that campaign that aren't getting discovered because you aren't giving them a chance. You've lumped them into too big of a group. If you put 5 to 6 keywords in a single campaign and give it a modest budget, then all of the keywords are going to get a chance to perform, and you'll be able to accurately tell which keywords work for you or which ones don't. And you can focus on and funnel the bid prices and the dollars to the keywords that actually work. You can turn off keywords that aren't performing and let the budget go to the other keywords. This is a game changer. So make sure that you're doing this. Spread your budget out between the different campaigns. If you have a $200 budget per day, make sure that you're dividing that between your different campaigns, and then each campaign and each keyword within each campaign will have a chance to have an ad served up under that keyword, and you can accurately determine if that keyword is right for your product. So make sure you're using the right campaign for the right objective. Make sure that you are setting realistic expectations for all of your campaigns. And make sure that you are allowing each and every keyword in each and every campaign to have a chance to be served up with an ad. Avoiding these 5 mistakes will make sure that you are keeping your PPC budget in line and keeping a profitable bottom line. Thanks so much. I am Kimberly Locke, and please, if you've gotten value out of this, hit the like button, subscribe so you can get notified of all of our videos like this one. See you next week.